Hello and welcome to Azur Meta. If after this video you want to help support the channel, please check out my affiliate store at kit.co/AzurLaneMeta. Today we have brought back Pi to help us with some of the new updates that have come out since my last Operation Siren video. So we're just going to once again, similar to last video, talk about some of the new things. If you haven't watched the last video, go do that first because that's kind of, we're going to assume that you've already watched that. And let's get into it. Hey Pi, how are you doing today?
Yep, I'm doing great. Thanks.
Alrighty, so out of all the things that have come out since the last video, what do you think is the most impactful, or what are you the most excited about?
I guess what I would find interesting about this new patch notes and stuff is the fact that we're gonna have new sort of a new meta for ships in the fact that any skill involving invincibility for temporary invincibility is now top tier. So we'll see more play from ships like Illustrious and Jean d'Arc, and yeah.
Yeah, so and that's because of the bosses like Hiru just being like basically EX modes now, right?
Yep, they
Yeah.
dish out crazy amount of damages with nearly unavoidable attack patterns.
Yeah, I've seen some of those attack patterns. They are nuts. So we talked a little bit about Hero last time, so it's not been like it's not brand new, but we do have some new information about Hero, about how you get the drops, the passes to go fight Hero, and potentially how that affects guilds. So if you want to talk about that, go ahead.
So it's theorized that your Hiryu raid boss passes drops on certain stages, although be it randomly throughout your Siren map. And we were actually theorizing that if you could save up enough of these Hiryu raid boss tickets that, oh, by the way, with each clear drops around 800 to 1,000 oil alone, let alone your other dorm food and coin drops that it gives,
And that's level
you could
5
save
Hero.
all these. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
level 5 Hiryu.
Okay, okay.
You could apply all this to a guild setting where you save up all these tickets and all your 38 guild members do all their Hiryu passes together on a specific day of the week. And that would net an insane amount of oil per week for each individual, let alone being a great bonding activity. Not really bonding activity, more like fun new thing to do for guilds.
I think that'd
Guild
be
interaction.
I think that's gonna be super fun, especially on like the 9 guilds I think we're up to now on my Discord. I think we're gonna have some weekends where we get into Discord chat and we all grind Hero. I think that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely.
So there's obviously I'm gonna have another video kind of talking about how to beat Hero, but today we also have some information about a new strategy. It's not really timeout farming, but it has some relevance into it. So if you want to talk about that, that would be kind of interesting.
Okay, sure. So similarly to Hiryu sort of raid bosses, there are siren bosses that you require a raid pass in order to access. However, these siren bosses are purely PvE in a sense that it's just you against the siren boss. You don't get to enlist the help of your guildmates or your friends or the global chat at all. These siren bosses are peculiar in the sense that at the start of a battle, they have a sort of weakness in a sense that it buffs them and debuffs you. We've seen debuffs such as in you entirely not being able to use any of your skills. So that includes torpedoes and your entire backline.
So that basically means
The
that you can't deal any damage with salvos. You can't have any airstrikes. Like you basically can't beat it because your backline deals 80% of the damage that you're gonna do in the map.
Yeah. And so initially this might seem unbeatable. However, this weakness is exposed once you defeat a certain aspect of the siren. From what we've seen, it takes place in form of a shield for the siren. However, the key to this is that the shield that also activates the siren's weakness is only there once. So you only have to beat it once. It doesn't matter if after you beat it you couldn't successfully kill the siren. The weakness is now quote unquote exposed. So you could send in a second fleet after your first fleet loses in order to have an easier time beating the siren boss.
So the
Other
idea
than
So the
that,
idea would be to have you have four fleets. You have one fleet kind of be like a garbage fleet. Have that fleet go in, kill the shield, have it time out or whatever, die, whatever, and then once that happens, the shield's gone, and then you use your actual boss fleet to go and kill it. Now that you can use your back line, and now that they don't have that shield.
yep, that's exactly that. Other than that, it's actually even better because even if you lose to a siren boss by running out of time, you still get really good drops. This includes gold drops of like gold plates, gold blueprints, gold materials. So it's by no means that's bad.
So potentially, you might even want to lose against these to get more drops per the stamina and oil.
Yep, that's correct. Since the stamina is a one-time payment, so it doesn't matter how many fights you actually do inside of your map, you still pay the same amount of stamina. So if you want to maximize stamina to drop rate, this is actually the ideal way to do it.
And remember, guys, this is the beta client over in China. They can change these before they release. So, take it with a little bit of grain of salt. Like, for example, we talked about timeout farming for experience, and then they just released that they're going to be changing that to remove the ability to do that. So they can change things if there's any, like, thing that bothers them that wasn't really intended. So do take some of this stuff with a grain of salt. So you talked about gold plates because those are going to be more or less the most important things for getting your plus 13 equips. We have a video out talking about plus 13 equips. So real quickly, we can talk about we found some new information about how enhancing equipments plus or beyond plus 10 are going to work. So you can talk about that maybe potentially.
Okay, so first of all, we now discovered that gold plates, materials, and blueprints actually don't only drop from Siren nodes, they actually drop from everything from Siren boss nodes to Siren normal Siren nodes, along with just your average normal non Siren node. So this makes it a hell of a lot easier to farm gold plates and all your other things. So the grind shouldn't be as bad. Other than that, we have now discovered that anything over plus 10, so plus 11, plus 12, and plus 13 to your materials, they all require a special sort of auxiliary print in the form of golden prints, and there is even a rainbow print. Normally, to upgrade, let's say, a torpedo from plus 10 to plus 11, you would need 35 of the golden torpedo plates. However, you will still need an extra special one of these golden auxiliary plates in order to be able to upgrade it. We're currently not sure on how to obtain it, but I'm sure we'll figure that out later.
So what it sounds like is the gold plates aren't going to be that hard to come by if you are daily playing Operation Siren mode, but your limiting factor is going to be potentially these new auxiliary plates that they even have one for rainbows. So like the auxiliary plate for your 457 plus 13 is going to be different than your auxiliary plate for your gold equipments, and those are going to be your limiting factors, and we got to figure out kind of how to obtain those.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's take a look at some of the new gear. I'm seeing that we have uh, Yamato's gun in these pictures. I'm seeing Iowa's gun, the MK7, Alaska's gun. Uh, we see a lot of new guns from ships we don't really have yet. So obviously, we don't know if those ships were coming, but We have a lot of new equipments. A lot of it power creeps what we have. And we're not exactly sure how you obtain it, but I'm going to assume most of this is going to be through the tech tree. And
Yep,
I
that's
know we have some
correct.
new updates through the tech tree, so you can talk about some of the things that are coming to the tech tree.
So, in terms of the tech tree, we have a couple of new things. For those of you, for those of you guys that were concerned about whether the MK6, the purple MK6, would still be meta, there is now actually a gold version that I believe is a direct upgrade of the MK6.
Yeah, it's the
And
MK7, right? Yep.
yep,
Yeah.
so that should be better. We're not sure yet, but I'd assume it's better. We also have new rainbow gun. I believe that is the gun that you previously talked about. We also have a new rainbow torpedo that isn't the magnetic ones. Rather, this one is actually the IJN torpedoes, but in rainbow form. From the looks of it, we also have returning event equipments, such as the one that we just got, the black auxiliary torpedo that allows you to have magnetic torpedoes on the first wave.
So
And
meta
we
PvP
also,
people who missed the black auxiliary or only obtained one can actually get more in the future.
yes, from what we see so far, should be the case. You can also obtain, I believe, some of the PR research equipment just directly from the new tech tree now, rather than going through the painful process of grinding out research.
Oh, nice. Um, so let's next talk about the shop. We kind of have more information about the shops. There's multiple shops. They have some things in it. We kind of figured out some what those some of the shop materials that we didn't really know what they were like a week ago, but now we kind of figured out what they do. So let's talk about the shops and kind of just explain everything that you know about shops, I guess.
Okay, so first of all, we believe there are up to three kinds of shops. The first shop would be your normal shop that you find in your bases along the Siren map. So that those bases would be the one based in Wales, the one based in Gibraltar, there's now one in New York, there's one in Leningrad as well, and these bases each have a unique shop that sells different things. The more you progress into the map, the harder bases that you unlock, and the harder bases sell better stuff and higher tier stuff. So I believe it's once you get to the New York base that you unlock all these gold and rainbow stuffs and items in the shop to buy. So that's your first kind of shop.
And what
Your
currency does
second,
that use for that shop?
that currency uses the, I believe it's the currency that's obtainable just by farming the map, which is the equivalent of a coin currency in Siren mode and a special coin currency. Both of them are pretty much staple map drops, so you don't need to worry about that too much.
Okay. So play more, and then you'll get different shops at different ports along the map in different areas. Okay, what
Yep.
about the other two?
So the second shop that we've noticed is these are NPC shops. So sometimes when you enter a battle, not battle, sometimes when you enter a map, you'll find NPCs. The we've seen a couple such as Unicorn, Vestal, and Shiranoi. Shiranoi actually sells you stuff if you go interact with her. By interact, I mean moving your fleet directly onto her or next to her, I believe. And this basically opens up a temporary shop to you.
And what do we purchase through
Now,
that? Is that like potions or what?
I believe the Shiranui shop is just basic potions, maybe some coins. It's nothing amazing, but it's a nice little bonus thing to have.
Okay. And what about this third one?
So the third shop is the one that we actually really want to watch out for. It's a special kind of currency We're not exactly sure how to obtain it yet. It looks like sort of like a white card. I'm not really sure. But so this is actually pretty huge. The shop sells, first of all, the green book that we talked about in the other interview, the one that doubles your gain while doubling the oil cost for 12 hours. Other than that, it sells much needed Siren boss raid sort of tickets in order to access the Siren boss raids. And the drops that the Siren boss raids, this is the same thing that I was talking about just now with the one with the weaknesses and the timeout farming. The drops are actually really, really good. So you really want to utilize these raids in order to maximize your plates, your blueprints, and your materials in order to get better equipment.
So how you get the passes to get into the siren raid, the siren raids, is to buy them from this shop, and they it basically the red ones are the passes, and then there are these blue ones. Explain those a little bit.
Okay, so we believe currently that the blue ones work in a similar way to tech boxes, in a sense that let's say you have a rainbow blue one, there's a chance to drop a rainbow siren boss pass, but more than likely you're probably just gonna get a golden one rather than a rainbow one. So it's sort of like gambling. However, the red ones are your surefire ones. So if you buy it, you know that you definitely already have a Siren Raid boss ticket as a guaranteed.
So it's
Guarantee
like
of
gotcha
yeah.
tickets for your raid bosses, and the reason why higher rarity ones are better is because you drop higher rarity or higher level sirens that drop more rewards, right?
I would assume so, yeah.
Okay. Oh, so we have some new quality of life things as well. The settings we see, we're not particularly sure exactly what changed here, but we saw that there are additional settings related to the bosses. So those might be quality of life things and whatnot.
Yep, I believe some of them are for graphics, something along the lines of that, but it should just be a nice quality of life thing, nothing major.
And then I guess the last thing, so we talked a little bit about the Vestal being a Poke Shop and Shiranui being the new shop on the map, but we also found some new things about commander skills. When they go past 150, they kind of like disappear. Um, so that's kind of interesting. And then the other thing is we kind of the middle map, we have not really accessed any of that area 5, the big red circle in the middle of the map. We haven't really seen what goes on there because it's time gated. So explain a little bit about that.
Okay, yeah, so we currently believe that the red bit in the middle, it either refreshes every 14 days in a sense that after 14 days you can unlock it. It's either that or after a certain period of time the red gate opens and you have a certain period of time to defeat all the stuff in it. And after 14 days, there's a big fight or something, and the season restarts, and we have a new sort of randomized siren map. It could be either of those two. We're not quite sure yet right now, but either way, there should be some nice stuff in there.
That reminds me, we got to talk about the fact that Operation Siren is kind of going to be a permanent thing, but it's going to be like challenge mode in that there are seasons that kind of reset. And so each time you're going to have to kind of redo it. It's not like you clear it once, right? Is that my understanding correct here?
We believe that's a possibility. It's not confirmed yet because we haven't had a full quote unquote season, but that's definitely a possibility.
So we think that's the case, but because the season hasn't ended on the beta server, we have not confirmed that. So that's speculation at this point. But right now we
Yep.
have 360 stars to obtain for full clearing everything, and full clearing a single map is 5 stars. So that would lead us to believe that there are 72 missions in a season. So if it were to reset, that's a lot of work to have to redo again.
Yep.
So a lot of endgame content for us to continually have all the time. Um,
Part of the reason I don't believe that it's an entire reset for the entire Siren map is that all the maps we currently have from stage 1 to stage 4, they are actually already randomized, meaning every time you enter the map, you're getting an entirely randomly generated uh, nodes, the position of the nodes, and random island structures and drop crates. Those are all randomized in a sense that you never get. I'd assume you never get the same map twice, although the level of difficulty of the fleets still remain the same.
So every map, every time you open it, is going to be different. So I will never be able to tell, like, oh, what I'm showing right here is what the map will look like. It will randomly generate based on some whatever algorithm they have to randomize it when you open it up. So every time will be a little bit different.
Yep.
Kind of like
So that's
Settlers of
why.
Catan.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why my gut feeling tells me that this every 14-day thing only applies to the big red stage 5 area in the middle of the map. Everything else probably should be permanent. I don't think they would make us go through 70 over stages every 14 days. That would be a little overkill, even for the tryhard community.
So you're saying that you're guessing that the 14-day season only applies to the center and not to everything else. So once you clear areas 1 through 4, you're good to be in area 5, and in area 5 you'll just have to wait from season to season to reset.
I'd assume that that's the case. That's my guess currently. Once again,
Yeah,
nothing's
so
confirmed.
like all this kind of season stuff is more speculation. Maybe when we get more information, we can do another video. But so take that with a grain of salt. That's just kind of what we're thinking after watching some of the streams that give us information. I guess while we're here on speculation, what do you think is going to be the next event? We just announced which the 4 pre-event ships are: the extra XP, which we're Jinsu, I'm sorry, Yukikaze, uh,
Cacao and
Takao,
Laffy.
and Laffy. Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on that? Probably an IJN event.
Um, yeah, there's been speculation that it's going to be an IJN event, a follow-up event to the one that Noshiro and Ryuho were in. I feel like that could be likely. My personal guess, it's something that revolves around the entire Guadalcanal campaign, but that's probably just me. I wouldn't know. In the rare case that I'm wrong, I really hope that Yostar gives us a Yamato event, but that's a
I mean,
man can dream.
we're going to be getting her gun soon, so it only makes sense, right?
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
My. And we also got some new fun news about the Japanese live stream, the anniversary for the third event, and we're gonna get Hololive and World of Warships they're on the schedule. We translated the schedule; they're on the schedule. So you wanna you wanna
Yeah, so we have guest appearances from Fubuki, Aqua, and Marine. And Marine wasn't in the first Hololive collab, so I'm really hoping that there's a second one, because why else would they invite Hololive for a Azure Lane third anniversary for Japan, you know?
And even if they were just inviting them to get some fans, why would they invite Marine, who's not in the game, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, to be fair, Marine is sort of sponsored to do Azure Lane, so that
I
makes sense.
I guess. So maybe there's nothing there, but they are coming in. So if you want to tune in this coming weekend, there is gonna be. It's obviously in Japanese, but we're gonna see what's on the live stream there. Also, World of Warships. Maybe we'll finally get that 6 PR ship that we've been missing. That has a blank spot.
Hakuryu, the Japanese carrier, yeah.
That's been my estimate since July that's going to be the 6th ship. We knew that we were missing it, and our estimate is that that's the ship. But it could be a lot of things, I guess. But yeah, that's what I would guess it's going to be. All right. Well,
No.
thank you, Pi, for taking the time to work through some of the new information that we got here. If you guys want to find out more information, you can join my Discord at discord.gg/AzurLaneMeta. There's more info there. You can always subscribe to the channel so that you can get updates when we find them out. Thank you guys for watching. Take care.